Hey guys, what's up? It's Natalie. Welcome to His Kids Online. Before we get started today, let's practice the verse of the month.
Proverbs 10:9. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely. But anyone who takes a crooked path will be caught. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely. But anyone who takes a crooked path will be caught. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely. But anyone who takes a crooked path will be caught.
All right, awesome job, guys. I'll see you next time for some more Bible in Motion.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to His Kids Online. I'm so excited that you guys decided to tune in this morning. Well, today we're going to talk about what it means to live truthfully with every single part of our life. But before we do that, I want you guys to jump up, get loose, shake it out, and get ready to worship with the Lord.
Hey kids, this song is called River, and the moves go like this. I got a river flowing out of me. It opens eyes and sets the captive free. I got a river flowing out of me, splash. And then throughout the song, we do a bunch of splish, splash, splish, splash. You got it. Let's do this.
I've got a river flowing out of me. It opens eyes and sets the captives free. I've got a river flowing out of me. Splash. Splish, splash, like a sunfish. I'm soaking in the deep. Splish, splash, I've been in the bathroom moving Jesus free. Splish, splash, like an ocean where I'm spouting out the truth in me. I've got a river flowing out of me. It opens eyes and sets the captives free. I've got a river flowing out of me. Splash. Splish, splash, like a sunfish. I'm soaking in the deep. Splish, splash, I've been in the bathroom moving Jesus free. Splish, splash, like an ocean where I'm spouting out the truth in me. And sets the captives free. I've got a river flowing out of me. Splash. Splish, splash, like a sunfish. I'm soaking in the deep. Splish, splash, I've been in the bathroom moving Jesus free. Splish, splash, like an ocean where I'm spouting out the truth in me. I've got a river flowing out of me. It opens eyes and sets the captives free. I've got a river flowing out of me. Splash. Splish, splash, like a sunfish. I'm soaking in the deep. Splish, splash, I've been in the bathroom moving Jesus free. Splish, splash, like an ocean where I'm spouting out the truth in me. I've got the river and I let it flow. In me. I've got the river and I let it flow.
much fun. I love getting to worship with all of you guys. Well, today's Bible story is going to take place in the book of Daniel.
Wait a minute, we get to talk about Mr. Daniel today?
Different Daniel.
Oh.
Although Mr. Daniel is super cool. But today's Daniel is not afraid to follow God either. In fact, he's going to go through some pretty tough things, but he's going to be truthful in every part of it. See, there's this king called King Nebuchadnezzar, and he has just taken over more land. And when he did, he went to his chief of staff and he told them to go gather some young men from the royal family. This is what he says. Select only strong, healthy, and good-looking men. Make sure they are well-versed in every branch of learning, are gifted with knowledge and good judgment, and are suited to serve in the royal palace. Train these young men in the language and literature of Babylon. Daniel 1:4. See, the king wanted these men, and they had to be the best of the best, to come serve in his royal palace. But before they did that, they were held captive for 3 years while they had to train, and the king put them on a very specific diet.
Was their diet gummy bears and ice cream and Oreos?
Oh, I wish. My mouth is watering right now thinking about all that. But no, this is a very specific diet to make sure that they stay strong and healthy and look good. And the king is using his own kitchen and his own chefs to prepare these meals for these captives. But this doesn't work with one of the captives. See, there's a captive named Daniel, and he wants to be truthful with every part of his life, and this diet doesn't align with what he's supposed to eat. So he goes to the chief of staff, and he's going to question this diet and see if he could do something different.
So even though he's captive, he's gonna like speak up to the chief of staff?
He is.
They're gonna like kill him.
Well, let's find out. So he goes to the chief of staff and he asks to be placed on a diet that works for him. That way he can stay truthful. But this is what the chief of staff says. I'm afraid of my king, who has ordered that you eat this food and wine. If you become pale and thin compared to the other youths your age, I'm afraid the king will have me beheaded. Daniel 1:10. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that might have been enough for me to stop and just go with the rest of the captives and eat the food that the king had ordered. But Daniel doesn't take no for an answer. Instead, he goes to the attendant of the chief of staff and he says, please let me and the 3 other men do a specific diet of vegetables and water. And this is what we have been told to do. And give us just 10 days on this diet. Just let us try this for 10 days. And if we're not measuring up to the rest of them, well, then we'll follow what your king has ordered. And the attendant says yes. And guys, to my surprise, Daniel and the 3 other men surpass all the other captives. They're stronger, healthier, and they surpass them in every aspect of training. How amazing is that? I can't help but think, man, Daniel had to be so courageous. I mean, he could have done what was easier and gone with the flow and done what everybody else was doing. But no, Daniel knew the importance of living truthfully with every part of his life, right down to the food he was putting in his mouth.
Oh, I get it. So we're supposed to live truthfully with our whole lives.
That's exactly right. We're supposed to live truthfully with our whole life. And just like Daniel and the 3 others were rewarded, I believe that we get rewarded when we do that too. But before we talk about how we can live truthfully with our whole life, why don't we pop over to Miss Natalie and do some Bible in motion.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Natalie coming at you again today with some more Bible in motion. And we're going to put moves to this month's scripture verse, Proverbs 10:9. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely, but anyone who takes a crooked path will be caught. So let's get started. The first move we're gonna do is take our hands like we're putting them down in our pockets, and then we're gonna pull them out and show something to someone over there. And then we're gonna do it again, show something else to someone over there. Because living our life without blame means that we're not afraid to be open and share our life with other people, even about the mistakes that we make. Because if we're a Christian, we know that when Jesus came and died on the cross for our sins, he already took all the blame and shame and punishment for us. And so we never have to be worried about that ever again, because with Jesus, he's made us blameless and righteous forever. And that way we can feel free to share our life and what Jesus has done for us with others. Now, the next part of our verse is going to take us on a little stroll. And so we're going to take 2 easy steps to the front and then 2 easy steps to the back. Because when we live a blameless life, we're on a straight path, and we don't have to be afraid of anything when we're listening to the voice of the Holy Spirit telling us the moves to make, and he helps us make good choices too. So let's put that together. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely. The next part, but anyone who takes. So we're going to take our pointer finger, and we're going to point to someone over there, and we're going to pull it back. But anyone who takes a crooked path. So for that part, we're going to twist our feet 3 times, and we're going to shake our arms back and forth really crazy like we're on a theme park ride, and we're going to go high, medium, low. Now, what does it mean, though, to be on a crooked path? Well, first of all, it's the opposite of being on that blameless and straight path. Because people on the crooked path, they don't live their life open to other people because they have a lot of shame, and so they like to hold on and hide away in dark places. And maybe they're even choosing to do bad things on purpose because people on the crooked path, they've said no to Jesus, or maybe no one has ever shared Jesus with them before. And the crooked path is confusing because there's all these corners and dark places and shadows where temptation hides out and lies hide out. And then they talk to us really loud and we get really confused and shameful and scared and even angry. So people on the crooked path, they need us to share Jesus with them. Because even if it looks like they're having fun on that crooked path, even if it looks like they're doing bad things and they never get caught, one day, if they stay on that crooked path, they're going to end up down here in the dust, and they're going to get caught. And that's the last part of our dance today. Because even if they get caught just in the prison of their own mind with all the anxiety and worry about getting caught or worry about all the bad things they've done, they feel bad, we know that Jesus wants to set them free from that and get them off the crooked path and living free on the blameless path. So that's the whole dance. Let's do it from the very beginning. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely. But anyone who takes a crooked path will be caught. And we're going to bounce like this. Okay? Let's go ahead and do it with some music.
Proverbs 10:9. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely. But anyone who takes a crooked path will be caught. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely. But anyone who takes a crooked path will be caught. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely. But anyone who takes a crooked path will be caught.
All right, awesome job, guys. I'll see you next time for some more Bible in Motion.
Woo! That was so much fun. Well, before we paused for some Bible in Motion, we talked about Daniel and how he was able to live truthfully with his whole life. Now, you and I are also called to live truthfully with our whole life. And sometimes it can be pretty tough. I mean, we just read about Daniel being held captive, and instead of going with the flow and doing what was easiest, he decided to be courageous and stand up and be truthful. Well, you and I have to do the same thing. And I can tell you guys, when I was a new student at a new school, I was pretty desperate for some friends, right? And there's nothing wrong to want to have friends, but sometimes that meant that I wasn't really honest about who I was. And maybe you've experienced this too. Maybe there's a group of friends who are super into sports and you really want to hang out with them, but you don't like sports. But instead of being honest about that, you go home and you research all these things, and then you sit down and you're like, oh yeah, basketball, woo, football, I know everything about it. Sports are so cool. Uh-oh. Have we been honest and truthful about who we are? No. Or maybe there's a group of the cool kids at the lunch table and you want to get in with them. So you just pretend to know what they're talking about. You're like laughing. You don't even get the joke. You guys are so funny. Uh-oh. Have we been truthful with our whole life? Have we been honest about who we are? No. See, being honest and being truthful means standing up and doing it even when it's not easy. And because you and I are Jesus followers, well, there's a really good chance that you and I probably live our lives a little bit differently than some of our friends or maybe even some of our family members. And it can be really hard to have the courage to step forward and be truthful with who we are in those moments. But the good news is that God is always with us, just like he was with Daniel and the 3 others. See, when we decide to be truthful and honest about who we are, God shows up. So before we step out in the morning, I want us to pray up. God, give me the courage to be honest with who I am, even if it's not easy. God, give me the strength to stand up and be truthful with every part of my life, even if it's not the same as my friends. And God will do that. So let me give you a couple scenarios where this can be a little bit difficult, but it's worth it. Say you and your friends have made a mistake, right? Because we all mess up. And they've all decided that they're going to not tell the truth. They're not going to talk about it. And they're pressuring you to do the same thing. Now, we believe in Jesus and we read the Bible and we know that we're supposed to be honest. What do we do here? Do we stay truthful to our whole life and admit to our parents, hey, I made a mistake? Or do we go with our friends? Because, well, we don't want to upset them either. We still want to be their friends. This is one of those moments that we want to make sure that we've prayed ourselves up and gone to God beforehand to give us the strength to be honest. Or what about there's a new kid in school and the new kid does things a little bit differently and our friends are making fun of them. Now what? Well, we know that the Bible calls us to love everyone, and if we jump in and making fun of and excluding that person, then are we being loving? Are we being truthful with who we are? No, but these are our friends. So what do we do? It's another one of those times that we want to pray up, go to God, ask for that courage and that strength to be truthful with every part of your life. And God will always show up. He's always right beside us, willing to help us. And it's always such a reward and a blessing when we end up being truthful with who we are. So guys, I just wanted to ask you as we say goodbye, are you ready to be truthful with your whole life? Are you ready to push back temptation if it's calling you to be somebody you're not? And are you ready to pray yourself up with God every single morning? Until next time, guys.
I've got a river flowing out of me. It opens eyes and sets the captives free. I've got a river flowing out of me. Splash. Splish, splash, like a sunfish. I'm soaking in the deep. Splish, splash, I've been in the bathroom moving Jesus free. Splish, splash, like an ocean where I'm sprouting out the truth in me. I've got a river flowing out of me. It opens eyes and says the